Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my 1,000 and singles here, and I'm about to show you what I found. Before I do that, let's talk about this week's hint. Um, I always show some of the more expensive bills that I get. Well, not even more expensive, but I always show some of the bills that I have collected over time. And the hardest part about collecting the bills is saving the cash to do it. So I'm going to give you what would be a pretty decent way to save money. You, of course, want to put money away every time you get a paycheck, whether it's once a week, once a month, every other week, whatever the case is. You can determine your own budget. But whatever that amount is, I would recommend limiting your spending to less than half of that. For instance, if you started off putting $100 away, make sure that you only purchase $50 worth of stuff for that week. That would leave you $50 left in the envelope. And then next week you'll be putting another 100. Now you'll have 150 in your envelope. If you limit yourself to spending only 75 of that, the next time when you put another 100 in, now you'll have 175 in the envelope. So it's a way to save money, and it's a way to still increase your buying power. Now, you don't have to spend the entire half amount. Maybe you'd want to consider only making one purchase each week. That way, you're constantly building up that amount so that when you do buy a bigger purchase, it doesn't completely wipe out what you've got saved. That's just one of my little hints as far as what you could do to save money to purchase some of the stuff. But I already told you guys in the past, what I do is I use my poker bankroll. I'm obviously not going to spend my entire poker bankroll on old money because then I won't be able to play cards. Anyway, that's what I do, and that's the way that you can do it. By putting away a certain amount each week, but only spending half of what is in your envelope. That way, you're always increasing the amount you put away. All right, so this is what I found this week, or this is the 1,000, and let's take a peek at what I found. Did find a Where's George. Haven't seen one of those like that for a while. It's very fine print right there. Almost thought it was just a red mark when I was going through, but nope, that definitely says where'sgeorge.com. So I will be logging that one as soon as this video is over. What do I got here? This one here, I stopped, I checked it, I double checked it. I don't think that's an ink smudge. I'm going to look over it one more time really good before I put it back in circulation. But to see these dark marks here like this caught my attention. I thought maybe it was an inking error. Probably not. I saw it. I pulled it. I'm going to take one more look, but I have the feeling that's going back. Last week I talked about one-offs, and this is a prime example of a one-off. 2215, 2216. It's one digit short of a repeater. Now, because it's one digit short of a repeater, I'm not saving this. It's something that I found. When I saw it, I cringed because it was so close. But being one off does not increase its value in any way, shape, or form. It's not a repeater. It's not a trinary. There's nothing spectacular about this bill at all. It's not even in the greatest of shape. If it was a repeater, I wouldn't be looking at condition so much. But being a one-off, it's just a bill. It's just $1. So I pulled this to show a prime example of what I was referring to a week or two ago. Not a keeper. So don't burn spots in your collection with stuff that is not keeper material. This is another one off, but this one is a keeper. You'll notice it's got a 9 in there. It's got all 2s and 7s and then one lonely 9. So yes, technically it's a one off of a binary, but it's still a trinary. There's only 3 numbers there, so that to me is a keeper. I had a lot of those one-offs, so it's like it's like the money gods are trying to show me what is out there and how close I can be on the stuff I talk about. Once again, this one's got a 9, one off of a binary, so it's not a keeper because it's a one-off. It is a keeper because it is a trinary, 1s, 3s, and 9s. Once again here, the 8 makes it a one-off, so it's not a binary. I'm not keeping it because it's a one-off. Keeping it because it's a trinary, 5s, 8s, and 9s. Same thing here. This one's 0s, 5s, and 6s with the 1, 5 there. Still a trinary, still a keeper. And still the same result here with the 9. 1s, 0s, and 9s on this particular trinary. And this trinary here is 1s, 2s, and 7s. I did find quite a few trinaries. This is one of the harder trinaries to pick up because of the way everything is spaced. It gives the illusion that it's not anything, but it is a trinary, 4s, 6s, and 9s. I was trying to see if it was a repeater. No, not a repeater. I was trying to find something on this bill because it looks like it should be, but it's nothing but a trinary. Everything is fairly evenly spaced, which makes it kind of tough to spot, but still a trinary. That's a keeper. Another trinary, 2 7s and 8s, 3s, 5s, and 7s on this one. So I found a lot of trinaries in this batch. Here's an older one. This one's 2003A, and it's got quad 1s on it. Really rough shape, but if it wasn't for the quads, I wouldn't keep that. Quad 1s here as well. Much newer bill, much nicer shape. Quad 5s on this one. Another quad 5s. Quad 7s to start this bill. And quad 8s to end this one. And then I did come across quite a few stars. 2017 on this one. 2013 here. Not in real good shape, that's for sure. This one's also a little rough. Another one kind of rough. All these are going to go into my star pile, and I will check them all at once at mycurrencycollection.com. It only takes about a minute to check a bill, but when you go through 200 bills, that would be 200 minutes unless you did them all at once. If you do them all at once, you only have to look up one bill, and the whole chart comes up. Let's see, this one's in decent shape. And for old notes, I only found 2 that were old. This was 1999, and the other one is 1999. This one's in really nice shape, though. So that was it for my finds. Lots of trinaries, a couple stars, a couple quads, only 2 old notes, and they weren't that old. But that's what happens. You don't find stuff every single time that's going to be worth a ton of money. So, what did I bring out this week? This week, I pulled out, this is one of my favorite small notes, and not necessarily because it's a 5. This is a $5 silver certificate, $5 silver certificate from 1934D. Now, as far as the silver certificates go, you can see right across the top it's a silver certificate. I also know it's a silver certificate because the Federal Reserve seal is blue. And this one, you'll notice, also has the blue 5. Now, that's what I like about this particular bill. The small size notes came out in 1928. They redid them again in 1934. For 1934, the silver certificate, they put in this blue 5 on here. On the 10, there's a 10 there as well. And it's just one of my favorite markings on a silver certificate. They only did it in the 34 series. So you're only going to find it on the 34, 34A, B, C, and D. Once you get to the 1953, they turned this into a gray number 5, and they did the same on the 10 as well. So you only see this blue 5 on the 34 series, and like I said, that's what makes this note for me. I really like the blue 5 like there. This one, the color is real good too. You can see that. You can see up close, that this one's got very good color on it. Of course, we know who that is, and there's a quicker look at that blue seal. Of course, it is a silver certificate. Now, if we take a look at the back, you'll notice, of course, that since it's pre-1957, it does not say "In God We Trust," so it qualifies as one of the godless notes. Interesting side note, in a past life, I was a magician, and I tend to watch a lot of magicians, and I always get a kick out of Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller. Whenever he does a money trick, and it says "In God We Trust" across the top, he always takes a marker and scribbles out God and says, "There, now this money is constitutional." So I was always humored by that when he does that. So every time I've got a note that does not say "In God We Trust," I always think of that in the back of my mind. Anyway, the back of the $5 bill, you can see this one is pretty much the same as what we see today. If you get rid of this rim right here and just blow up the picture, that's pretty much what they used for the modern picture of the 5. When you look at the small head 5s, then this would be virtually identical with the exception of the phrase "In God We Trust" right there. So I'm sure you guys are all familiar with that. But this is still a 1934D $5 silver certificate. The 34 series, like I said, one of my favorites just because I like the way the blue numeral is there. Still a very affordable bill. I'll check the book real quick. We'll show you how affordable these are. There it is right there. $5 notes. You can see 34A, B, C, D. Mine is a 34D, so that puts it at a $12 or $10 starting. And when you talk about a perfect pristine note, 63, you're looking at $95 roughly. So, yep, somewhere between, mine is probably between the $10 and $25 range there. That's it in the book. And you can see all the different variations right there. So that's what I've got for you guys this week. This is the 1934 Series D $5 silver certificate. If you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. I always try to answer all my comments, and I'll talk to you guys later on this week. Bye-bye.